Hello there, I'm Brett from GameByte.
And I'm Vicky from GameByte.
And today we're talking about Watch Dogs Legion. Visual puns. So Watch Dogs Legion is the latest Watch Dogs, and because it's not cool to just say Watch Dogs 3, they gave it a subtitle, which doesn't, like...
What do you mean, what, Watch Dogs 3 is the subtitle?
Well no, as in it's just called Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah,
but they could have just called it Watch Dogs 3 and no one would have batted an eye.
They could, but then no one would have batted an eye. It's Legion now, so...
The thing with Legion, like, so if you haven't heard anything about Watch Dogs Legion, which could be why you're watching this video, it's set in a post-Brexit Britain, which is very fun to say, a bit of a tongue twister.
Post-Brexit Britain, oh, it is, it actually is.
But it's obviously a bit of a futuristic post-Brexit Britain, as you sort of said in our Cyberpunk video. It's a bit cyberpunky, it's got its sort of flares and stuff, and everything feels
very near future cyberpunk, yeah. I'd say. Things are starting to become more technological, and like there's starting to be like corruption and corporations, I guess. I'm kind of getting that hint, but like it's not all consuming yet.
Yeah, I mean you got like drones that fly about and stuff, and obviously you've got hackers that have spider robots and all that weird stuff.
It's Watch Dogs.
But the game replicates London fairly realistically. Like I know the one piece that we both saw, we always said like Camden Market looks quite a bit like Camden Market.
Yeah, because like we've both been to London a fair few times, but I had actually been in London, specifically Camden Town, like a week before I played this demo. And they did a very good job in sort of like scaling it down, but still making the distance between the landmarks correct. Yeah. It felt right. So like coming out the tube station, the spacing felt right, and then there were shops that I remembered being there in what I would assume would be the correct places, and then you come across like the famous bridge, and they'd done that very well, I'd say. And
that was the thing, is because the way that I played the demo, I don't know if it's the same for you, is you sort of had part of the dev team was there talking you through certain bits and pieces, helping you if you're getting a bit confused.
Yeah, kind of like a chaperone for each player playing it, basically.
You know, telling you what button to press in case you accidentally brought out your gun rather than scanning someone.
You've got to call me out, Brett. Every time.
But it was a case of, as I grew up in a town not that far from London, so I spent a lot of my teenage years in London. I spent loads of time in Camden. It felt familiar, but as they sort of said, everything is scaled down. They're not trying to make a complete replica, and they've not got like real life stores, so it's like, but they've got things that reference close enough to it. So like there's a Cyberdog reference, there's...
I missed that, is there really?
Yeah,
oh, nice.
Which was cool, but there was also like, the weird thing I saw is there was a football team referenced, not in the gameplay I saw, but in the demo that they showed off. Yeah. That looks more like Blackburn Rovers than any of the London teams. And I did bring up when playing the game, it's like, are you going to try and have that like London football rivalry, seeing as they've got a fair bit of it, and they've got, I think they've got Highbury and Islington, which is obviously Arsenal, my team. And you know, it's a small thing to give a shit about in a game that's all about hacking and doing that sort of stuff.
No. Like, we're Brits. We finally got a game in Britain, so we're gonna care about it.
Ubisoft have made a fair, like they made the Assassin's Creed in London a couple of years back.
Yeah, but like this is Watch Dogs,
so the big twist with this Watch Dogs is, what do you want to say? What the big twist is?
If you want, yeah, sure.
Go.
You can play as anyone.
And if they die, they're dead.
Yeah, permadeath, which I think was definitely needed, because if you can play as anyone, then you're not going to care about anyone. And I guess at least with permadeath, you know, if you have like these 3 characters that you're always playing and then one dies, it means something.
Yeah.
I don't think this whole system would work without it, so.
And I think it's always the issue with permadeath games in general is sometimes they don't quite work because you don't feel for the characters, but then you will go on a run with the character where actually you're doing all right and you're doing well for an hour or two, and then everything gets a bit overwhelming. And what I like with the game is you can sort of choose, okay, I give up, I surrender to the police, then you've got to go do a rescue mission, or you can be like, nah, I've got what I need to get through this. Don't give up when you get knocked down and just try and push through.
Yeah, at one point my character got surrounded by police and like I surrendered to them, and then my chaperone was like, oh, that's a coward's way out. And it's like, but look at how cool this character is. I don't want to lose this character. Like, I get that it's a demo, so like I don't actually get to keep this character, but he's so cool. So
it's a fair point. And but the thing is I was more impressed with what I saw from their stage demo than what I actually played, is the weird thing that I found.
Yeah, like it definitely sounds cooler than it felt at the moment. Now obviously this is a very early build of it and there were bugs and things which is to be expected. But at the moment, personally, the whole playing as anyone felt a bit gimmicky. It came across as though the way that the engine works this out is that here's a list of all the different ways these characters can look, and you kind of pull and pick bits of these. Here's all these random personality stats that you can assign. Here's random voices and things that you can assign and personalities, and it's just kind of like a random mix-up. So it's cool that there's so many different variations, but there's kind of no heart to it, I suppose.
'Cause that's the thing, it's like you can say, oh, if you read the description, it's like, this person's a martial artist or something like that. It's like, it adds character, but really it's a line, and it's like, it doesn't add that much character. It's the deeper part of the character and the way you build to them.
I think a lot of it's going to come down to how personal you can get with the characters that you're playing, like how in-depth their backstories become. Whether it's just like, oh, this guy's from here and he has this problem, or whether it's like, this guy is from this place because of this reason and this problem has happened because it's linked to this other thing. And
I believe it is a case that some games don't necessarily demo well, at least not like short demos, and Watch Dogs was probably about 40 minutes, I think I had.
Yeah, 40 minutes to an hour. I only had about 40 minutes because I were running behind. So.
And you know, that's time to try and get your grips to how you're playing the game now, get to grips with just like looking about and soaking it all up. And then you've got to try and do the missions to actually get a feel of how the game's playing. And you know, as I said earlier in the video, it is a case of, for permadeath characters to actually mean anything, you need to spend time with them. And spending 20 minutes with someone doesn't really make you... I like the old woman, she's endearing. I like jumping off of tall buildings.
So you actually played as the old woman?
Yeah.
Nice. So I didn't actually see any old women, but that might be something to do with the fact that you start in a bar and I accidentally pulled out my gun and everyone fled the scene, so...
I think I had the choice to be the person I'd recruited, and then was like, I don't want to be the person I recruited, I want to be the old woman.
Because like, I didn't have much choice because everyone ran away. I had like 3 people to choose from, so I picked someone who looked kind of cool. And I read through their stats and it was like, oh, okay, they do this, they do this, they do this. And then I was walking and then my chaperone was laughing and I didn't clock why. And I'd completely glossed over the last point in the list, which was, has an anime body pillow. And I was just like, it would be me, wouldn't it? Like, just like the person that's like, got the reputation for being the weeb. I mean, so have you, but like, within our larger team.
I mean, I don't have an anime body pillow.
No, I don't either. Like, this is why I'm kind of like expanding on this point. It's like, I don't have one, but it's funny because I watch anime, so.
But yeah, it's there's obviously gonna be lots of funny little jokes, and the characters will have characteristics and stuff, and hopefully not all of them will be, hey mate, I'm from London.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are very much Guy Ritchie gangster films, and I was just like, I really just wish you had people who talk like me, who's like, I grew up from not far from London. This is how a lot of us speak. Can we just speak like this?
It's mainly just like missing off your T's, to be honest.
Yeah. But you know, as long as the stories are interesting, as long as the characters are good. But I found driving cars needs a bit more tweaking as well. I found they were a bit too responsive.
I don't remember much about it. It's definitely not something I flagged. I only did one car chase, and my priority was, because like there's different districts, and for the sake of the demo, it was contained to one area. So my car chase kept leaving that area, so I had to keep roping around, and I guess that's where my focus was.
Yeah.
I don't think I struggled with the car, but then different cars.
Yeah.
In games like drive differently. So.
I think my issue was I kept going for the really fast flash ones, which probably are meant to be quite hard to
If I see a motorcycle, I'm straight for that.
Oh, yeah, I was fine with a motorcycle actually thinking about it. So yeah, I should just stuck to motorcycles, but
yeah, the car that I drew was like drove was a really old one as well. So.
And obviously the game's got the 3 classes. You've got the hacker class, the more enforcer class, and then the other one I can't remember the name of. Demolition, is it? It's something. The main one is there is one.
The one that we didn't play.
Yeah, so. There is one that is a proper hacker class that has the spider stuff and can't really fight as well.
Infiltrator, which was cool because I guess it's a similar thing to Cyberpunk where like I think everyone has mods in their eyes or something, but basically they hacked themselves to not be seen by people, which must imply that they do, I guess. So like it's kind of like hacked invisibility on like a short cooldown, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Definitely makes stealthing a lot easier in that class. So.
And I found combat interesting as well because so you sort of have, the police are still a thing, but then you also have this sort of like military army that are policing the place as well. So this military army will sort of pull out guns on you, no questions. Whereas everyone else is a case of, unless you pull your guns out, they're just going to have a fist fight or use melee weapons. So it does mean, unless you escalate, most of the time they're not going to escalate. So it's sort of a risk and reward sort of thing a lot of the time.
There's checkpoints on the roads as well, which makes police chases and basically evading the police a lot more interesting because that instantly blocks off paths that you can go.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I kept coming across them and having to like not go through them because then when you can't be like losing the police and then drive for a checkpoint because then they instantly know where you are. And there are usually police at the checkpoints that will then follow you. So it's not a good idea to go through the checkpoints if you've committed a crime.
No, the only time that I got found by the police when it's like, you've got 4 minutes left, it's like, okay, jump out the car and just start mowing everyone down, which obviously never do in real life. And you know, it's a terrible thing that this is what video games are, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I enjoyed blowing up cars, that was fun.
Cars are okay.
Yeah, but I'm on the fence about it. I wasn't as wowed by playing the game as I was by just seeing the game, and I find that weird because most of the time a game plays better than it looks.
Yeah, for all the different things that they're introducing, it felt very much like the last two games, I suppose. Like it didn't actually feel that new. It was almost like a reskin. But at the same time, I appreciate that this is the first time that there's ever been hands-on with it. I mean, obviously it's just been announced as well. I expect it to be more fleshed out when there are demos in the future, and it will be interesting to see what things change and what they add to these things. And
the permadeath stuff will be a game changer. Like, that will change how you play the game. But hopefully, and it's a concern of not just myself, but like lots of people I see them saying, it's like, hopefully it doesn't lead to the story not being as strong.
Yeah, like I'm assuming that there's going to end up being central characters that are, these are the characters and they run DedSec or whatever, and they kind of help carry the story, and then you're just playing as whoever you want to play as at the point in time, and they're just like a part of it.
But it's promising, and obviously if you love Watch Dogs, then you're going to love this. I think it's fair to say that this feels more like that original Watch Dogs demo that everyone got hyped for, then disappointed when it wasn't that game.
Yeah.
This feels more like that. It does feel like it's finally becoming the game it always promised it could be. And you know, Watch Dogs 2, everyone loves, or a lot of people liked it. So
yeah, it's a pretty solid game.
Yeah. So you know, we'll have more on Watch Dogs Legion when we get to play more of Watch Dogs Legion, I guess.
For sure.
But I think I've said everything I need to say. Have you said everything you need to say?
Yeah, just cool game. Watch this space. Yeah. Let's see how it develops.
If you enjoy watching dogs, or maybe just watching gaming videos, make sure to check out our other videos as well. Until next time, I'm Brett from GameByte.
I've been Vicky from GameByte.
You've been wonderful. Goodbye. Now look at this dog some more. It's a good boy.
He has a hole in him.